So Michael Chandler is completely delusional. Earlier today, he did an interview with Ariel Helwani where he made an outrageous claim that he beats Charles Oliveira 9 times out of 10. He also continued to double down on injury excuses and even alluded to the commentary from UFC 309 being biased. I feel like his cope has reached a new all-time low. I've done multiple videos about Michael Chandler's cope in the lead up to UFC 309 and immediately following UFC 309. Well, there's another banger that we're going to have to do here because I think it has reached another level of craziness. I don't understand how he utters these nonsensical claims with a straight face. What's worse is the fact that he has given no credit to Charles Oliveira whatsoever. It's simply just he had an off night, Charles Oliveira had a good night, and that's happened 2 times. So the discrediting of Oliveira will not be stood for right here. I'm not standing for it. You shouldn't stand for it either. I hate that he's also enabled. Like with the podcasts he does with his buddies, I'm not surprised that they didn't push back against him, right? Because Chandler's their boy and whatever. Let him make those excuses. It's right after the fight. But with Ariel Helwani, it's just consistent enabling. He didn't say, hey, Michael Chandler, but don't you think that Charles Oliveira deserves some credit for not only beating you once, beating you 2 times and winning a majority of the fight? Like, sure, you had a great moment at the end, but why is Charles getting no love whatsoever from Chandler? They've shared the octagon twice, and Michael Chandler, a guy who claims to be all about humility and respect, has shown zero. Given Charles Oliveira none. It's a disgrace from Michael Chandler, what he said following this fight, what he said in the lead up, and I have to keep bringing the fire, and we got to keep making these, videos going, keeping the Chandler Cope saga alive with episode 3 in this one here. We're going to jump into things, guys. Just prepare yourselves because some more Michael Chandler Cope is incoming for you guys. Let me pop the headphone in and let's go to clip 1. This here is going to be Michael Chandler alluding to him falling in the fight and some excuses why that happened. Let's hear it.
I was 14 years old, but I fell like 4 or 5 times in the fight, tripped over my feet. I tripped over one time in the cage, banged up my ankle, and on the same fall, felt like I dislocated my thumb, and my thumb went all the way back.
This is a new one. This is new just to this interview, exclusive with Ariel Helwani. Michael Chandler not only destroyed his knee in the fight, not only had a bad night, right? He also dislocated his thumb. This is something he hasn't said following UFC 309 yet. This is breaking news. He dislocated his thumb in the first round. 2 guys. That's why the whole performance fell apart. I hate hearing it, and he keeps on piling it on. You think this is bad? Oh my God, if you think this is bad, it's going to get way worse as we continue, okay? Because we got plenty more clips where I think Michael Chandler's claims are even more outrageous. Let's play the next one.
Now, I exert myself so much. I pour myself fully into this sport. Honestly, probably a little bit less in this fight than I have in the past because I didn't force a lot of positions I didn't need to. I didn't force myself out of positions and put myself in bad positions.
So you let Charles Oliveira win. I didn't go hard this fight. Michael Chandler is literally with a straight face telling you guys that this fight, he didn't force things as much. He was more passive in this Charles Oliveira fight. He was trying to be high IQ Chandler and just take his time. That's why it didn't go well for him. Not that Charles Oliveira shut him down for 4 rounds and he had no answer to Oliveira's skills. He can't just man up and admit that. Talk about masculinity and being a humble savage, which is Chandler's whole persona. He can't man up and say, yes, Charles Oliveira is that good, though. Charles Oliveira put me in those bad spots. I had a hard time moving. He's one of the best to ever do it at lightweight, and it is what it is. I'll come back better. No, he continues to add more. I'm telling you, this is just a little bit. This is a little sprinkle. It's going to be a whole load of crap that comes. We got more. We got the next clip. It's about him pretty much saying that like he conceded positions. He said this before. He'll say it again. I don't think he's ever going to stop saying it. He let Charles Oliveira win certain rounds. Let's keep listening.
And I was willing to concede that position to get from round 1 to 2 to 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and then eventually hoping that his gas tank was going to slow down and we were going to put it on him later in the rounds.
So it went from Last week, Michael Chandler, you're killing me, bro. Last week, Michael Chandler said that he conceded round one, but he didn't, allude to him conceding all the rounds. Now it's, well, I conceded round one, I conceded round two, I conceded round three, and I conceded round four. But it was my intention that in round five is when I was going to turn it on and really go after him. One, two, three, and four. Like, I just let Charles Oliveira attack me, hoping that he'd gas out a bit, and then I'd finish him later. I'm that much better than him, but I just had to let him wear himself out. And then I'd probably find my moment later in the fight because, I'm that good. I'm one of the best in the world. I am the best in the world. Oh my God. Oh my God, Michael Chandler. Stop this. He's become a complete embarrassment. Michael Chandler is embarrassing himself with these delusional interviews. Anybody that sits down and actually listens knows. And that's why I got to make these videos too, because I know some of you aren't watching Helwani's show. But you'll watch this video and you'll get to hear the truth behind Michael Chandler because he'll tell you it all. He might play the nice guy, but damn, he's the king of cope. Let's keep going. So this next clip, he alludes to the commentary being biased. This is something that he's standing on. The commentary was biased, talking about the back of the head shots and cage grabs. It was all the commentary, not me. I did nothing wrong. Let's keep listening. Let's play it.
Misinterpretation of what the back of the head is by the unified rules of mixed martial arts. The misinterpretation of what cage grabbing is, and a couple of different things. It's all water under the bridge at this point. But more than anything, I'm an honest guy. I try to live.
He's an honest guy. An honest guy who can't tell the truth that Charles Oliveira beat him. And he was talking about the commentary with the rule sets and the cage grabbing. He wasn't just saying it about fans. He was talking about the UFC commentary working the event. You did hit him in the back of the head. You did cage grab him. You fish hooked Dustin Poirier some fights ago. And I love how he says water under the bridge. Water under the bridge means it's over with. It's all good. We've moved on from it. It doesn't mean that I'm bringing it up to consistently push my point that X person or X commentary team is wrong and I'm right. That's not water under the bridge. That's fueling the argument. And the argument is still going on. He's not conceded. This isn't water under the bridge. Michael Chandler is still standing on that the commentary was biased and that he wasn't dirty in that fight and that he let Charles Oliveira win a lot of the rounds and it ended up costing him late. That's the reason that he lost. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Michael Chandler. Like, I know Chandler's the king of cope, but like, how can it get any worse? I don't think it gets worse than this. I mean, you know what? Michael Chandler will surprise me. We'll have a part 4 coming out at some point. I'm sure of it. Let's keep listening.
And a narrative that has been painted is not very interesting to me. Not very happy. Very happy about it. But it's all part of it.
Could I ask?
The narrative he's talking about that he's not happy about is the narrative of truth. Is the facts. Michael Chandler is dirty. Michael Chandler bends the rules to give himself the best advantage. And following fights, he never admits to those faults and mistakes of his dirty play. Instead, he doubles down on everything being completely fair and he didn't make those mistakes and he was clean in the fight and you guys are wrong. He gaslights us fans, big time. He gaslights even the commentary. And he won't ever concede that somebody maybe just had his freaking number. I think that's where the biggest issue is. Like, these other excuses could be water under the bridge if you would also just admit Charles Oliveira is awesome. If you would say Charles Oliveira is tremendous. I got mad respect for Charlie O. It is what it is. I lost the fight and, there were some moments that maybe I disagree with what the commentary was saying, but Oliveira is that good. He won't do that though. Everybody's getting flacked. Now, this is the back of the head excuse. Thankfully, he got asked by Helwani about these shots that were to the back of the head. If you were listening to him on a recent podcast last week with Bustin' with the Boys, where we did a reaction here, he didn't even get asked about back of the head shots. He just said, to the side of the head. And nobody on that crew of, a panel or whatever, the podcast, nobody pressed him at all. At least he answers a little bit here.
Well, I don't think I did anything wrong. I'm not going to say I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I'm not going to say that.
Hold on one second. We'll let him continue. I want to talk now. Now he's saying, wait, maybe I did something wrong. Like, Chandler's half in, half out. I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, well, maybe I'm not saying I didn't do anything wrong, but I didn't do anything wrong. This is the hypocritical side of Michael Chandler, where he plays two sides. He's two-faced. He's a flip of a coin, heads and tails. He plays both sides completely. trying to be the nice guy. Listen more.
People couldn't look at it and splice it and look at it from under a fine-tooth comb and a magnifying glass. But the unified rules of mixed martial arts say that there is a line drawn from the crown of the head, if this were the back of the head, the crown of the head down to the neck, 1 inch variance on either side.
Yes. So you hit him in the back of the head. What are we talking about? A microscope. We got to look at it analytically. Yes, we're going to look at our evidence and we're going to analyze and we're going to see that you hit him in the back of the head. Like, what else is there? Why is this even an argument that he's bringing up? Like, yes, you hit him in the back of the head. Did he hit him in the back of the head when maybe all 19 of those questionable shots? Maybe not, but at least 6 or 7. 100%. He hit Charles Oliveira to the back of the head, which is an extremely dangerous technique. Oh, but I didn't hit him directly with the fist. No, you hammer fisted him and the forearm touched it. You smashed him with your forearm. That's still a strike. A forearm strike is still a strike to the back of the head. So if I hit him with a forearm to the back of the head, that doesn't count as back of the head. It's just got to be a punch. But he also punched him in the back of the head too. But a lot of those were forearm shots as well to the back of the head. There was a ton of back of the head shots by Michael Chandler. And now he's saying, wait, guys, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. You don't understand what back of the head shots are. The Mohawk area, right? So we're going here. The Mohawk area. The Mohawk area doesn't mean this small, okay? The Mohawk area has got to be a decent amount of head, okay? And he was hitting Charles Oliveira in that back of the head. Oh, but the 1 inch variance, just trying to bend the rules left and right. You hit him in the back of the head, bro. Enough of this crap. But oh no, it's not enough of this crap with Michael Chandler. No. He says more. Oh my gosh, Michael, stop it. Please, stop it. I know what he's going to say, but stop it.
90% of the shots, at least, most of them, almost all of them, or at least where I was aiming, all of them, my fist was catching the ear.
Oh my gosh. 90% maybe to the back of the head. Come on, man. Wow. He's actually tripling down. At this point, he's saying 90% of them were not to the back of the head. 90% of those strikes were clean shots that he landed on Charles Oliveira. This is simply put just a lie. How does he say that? He doesn't rewatch the tape and see, damn, yeah, I hit him in the back of the head a few times. My bad. I wasn't trying to. I was just throwing big shots. I didn't try to rip him to, the back of the head. I didn't try to potentially, damage a fighter's entire career with back of the head shots. No. Instead, it's no, I didn't even do that. You're wrong. Your eyes are deceiving you. And all of the analysts online who are saying these things are wrong. Only Michael Chandler knows the way. Completely delusional. Absolute disgrace, Michael Chandler. Stop this shit. Stop it, bro. It's a train wreck. Michael Chandler is a train wreck right now. Post UFC 309, he's losing fans. His style's entertaining, but he's a dirty fighter, and his cope is unreal.
Within 2 feet away, never said one thing about it. And then you got commentators who were 35 feet away saying it's the back of the head, and then you got other people who are saying, hey, that's the back of the head, just like the Poirier fight.
The Poirier fight where you fish hooked him? Come on, bro. You know you did dirty tactics. Stop. Talking about the commentary being 35 feet away, bro, the commentary is not watching through the cage. They have a screen right in front of them. They see up close too. And because Keith Peterson, who I would say is a very questionable referee at this point, if Keith Peterson didn't make the call, doesn't mean it's right. Keith Peterson could be wrong too. So both of you are wrong. Keith Peterson should have called a timeout and stepped in, and Michael Chandler should have not hit Charles Oliveira in the back of the head numerous times. The commentary is 1000% right. And I disagree with commentary on a lot of things. I am not a UFC shill fan that just says the commentary says it, that's the truth. But on this one, commentary is 1000% correct. Shots were to the back of the head. Enough of this. Let's keep listening. We got more. It's a lot of back of the head talk here. It's like this is the narrative that wouldn't go away because we're hoping maybe we'll have a little bit of honesty from Chandler. Maybe he'll give a little sympathy to Charles Oliveira, but he won't.
Mixed martial arts call the back of the head. So it needs to be defined, and it also needs to be understood by yourself, the media, the commentators, some of which have fought in an octagon for years and won championships.
Oh my God, gaslighting them straight up. They don't understand what the back of the head is. We need to understand it. They don't. Bro, it's the back of the Mohawk area, inch vary. It's the back of the head. You hit him in the back of the head. You can't convince me otherwise that those shots weren't to the back of the head. Was every shot to the back of the head directly? No. But there was numerous that landed on the back of the head of Charles Oliveira. Come on, bro. He was just ripping shots recklessly. He didn't care that he was hitting the back of the head. And as much of a potentially dirty competitor that Chandler is, I wouldn't be surprised if those back of the head shots that he was throwing were somewhat intentional, just to be fair. Just to be straight up, like I'm going to be honest, I think they could have been intentional. Now, that's me making an assumption, and I can't tell you with absolute confidence and evidence that they're definitely dirty shots intentionally, but Chandler's done a lot of questionable things inside of the cage, and it wouldn't be beneath him to cheat in that manner. That's what I'll say. Now, what's weird here is he tries to compare back of the head shots to the rule change with the knees to a grounded opponent. Like, this is not even comparable, but Chandler finds a way to do it.
Because my fingers were touching the ground, and people got privy to it, or the referees and the rule book got privy to it and saying, hey, well, you can't put yourself in that position and just stall there and not let your opponent be in a position where they can strike. Similar to the back of the head, you can turn.
This is not similar to the back of the head. This is not similar to the back of the head. And first thing, Oliveira, it's not like he was really turning his head crazy. He was getting hit clean in the back of the head, trying to scramble out of the bad spot. No, this is different than knees to the head of an opponent whose hand is on the ground. Getting hit in the back of the head is not a game that the UFC can just magically change the rules on, okay? This is completely different. It's a totally different rule set. The fact that this is being brought in as comparison is nonsense. This is complete nonsense for Michael Chandler. This is a nonsensical comparison. The two do not go together, okay? Do not mix the two together, please, Michael Chandler. I hate that you are, and I know that that's his thing, but come on. Come on. We're not dumb. But shit, gaslighting some more.
Technician, you want to say I got low fight IQ. You want to say I should have wrestled and not struck, or struck and not wrestled. You want to talk about these tactical things. That's completely fine. But when you talk about, hey, this guy's a dirty fighter because he was striking to the back of the head, and it wasn't really the back of the head. And
oh my gosh, man. He's gaslights. Well, you can say I'm a bad fighter. No one's saying you're bad. Michael Chandler, you're a good fighter. I'm going to say that straight up. His fight IQ is questionable, but he's good at fighting. That is not the argument here. The argument that is simply put, and I think it's evidence-based, is that you, Michael Chandler, are a dirty fighter and a bit of a fake, fraudulent personality. You're not a humble and, a guy who's going to be so loving after the fight and keep that humility. No, you're going to gaslight the fans. You're going to double down on excuses. You're going to disrespect Charles Oliveira consistently, and it's going to get way worse. It's going to get way, 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 way worse, okay? Things are going to get a lot worse about Charles Oliveira. What's coming on next is going to be a lot of the Charles Oliveira cope. So this starts more of the Oliveira cope section, which it's really infuriating, man. It really is. We're about to get to the Oliveira stuff. I think we got one more of this back of the head cope that he's going to bring in, and then we'll get to none other than the Charlie O stuff, all right? We got one more big cope moment, and then it's Charlie O disrespect, which, I guess excited for, but also prepare to be irritated.
And I was going to go back to the stool. Round two, got up, leg felt weird, looked at it. And then after round two, I kept saying, guys, I can't get my footing. I don't know what's going on here. And that's where I was saying, too, talking to Henry, like, hey, let's talk about, combinations we're going to throw.
Oh my gosh, it's the knee injury thing. So it's the back of the head shots are clean. My knee was injured. My thumb was dislocated. What else is there? I conceded rounds. The list of excuses that Michael Chandler has brought out following this fight are absolutely insane. And the fact that he says, I'm not a guy that makes excuses. You are exactly what making excuses is. You just hide them behind niceness, Michael Chandler. I've said this in multiple videos. How many times are we going to go over it? A lot. Because Michael Chandler's not going to stop. I hope he sees one of these. Michael Chandler, I hope you're watching this. And I hope you can realize that when you talk about respect and humility, that also means you have to show respect to your opposition following a loss and say, you know what? They were the better man. They were better than me. All of these other BS factors are just part of fighting, okay? And you lost, Michael Chandler. But no, he won't admit that. It's about to get bad. He's going to shit on Charles Oliveira. He's going to absolutely disregard what Oliveira's done to him twice. Let's just get to the next clip and let's just keep running. because there's a lot to cover, man. This interview had some gem moments, gem in a negative way, not gem in a positive. Michael Chandler, something else, man. Michael Chandler is something else. Let's play the clip.
Guy who was hanging on by a thread, one guy who was backpacking me and holding on tight, digging his chin in and just along for the ride, while another man stood to his feet twice on a ripped up MCL and meniscus, carried him to the center of the octagon, and backdropped him in front of a standing ovation, 20,200 people.
Wow. Disrespecting Charlie. Oh, he's just holding on. He got to that position. Is this not MMA? He got to the position. He was able to garner control time and finish the fight on your back, Michael Chandler. He got there with his skill set. It wasn't a fluke. You didn't let him take your back. Like, yeah, it was cool. You picked him up and slammed him backwards. But let's be 100% honest. It's a completely ineffective technique that did nothing for you besides get casuals excited. Oh my God, Michael Chandler just slammed him. Yeah, that doesn't work. Maybe on concrete that works, but in the UFC, that doesn't. So let's just disregard Charles Oliveira coming back from getting hurt in round 5 and finishing the fight in an extremely dominant position, having your back locked up. Great, great, great. This is what I'm saying. He disrespects Charles Oliveira constantly. Zero respect towards Charles Oliveira. And I thought it was bad here. You thought it was bad here. You thought you were annoyed right here. Ha, ha, ha. Let's jump to the next clip. Oh my gosh. This is going to be one of the most outrageous, one of the most delusional and downright insane claims a fighter has ever made after losing a fair fight. Let's play it.
I believe I beat Charles Oliveira 9 times out of 10. And obviously I've lost to him twice now, 2 out of 2. I have a
Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler. Are you serious, man? You beat him 9 times out of 10. You already lost to him twice. Could you at least use proper math and say 8 times out of 10? How to lie with statistics. At least say 8 out of 10. You lost to him twice. 9 out of 10 is not possible. This wasn't the first time you guys fought. How can you say this? How the hell can he sit here and say that he can beat Charles Oliveira 9 times out of 10 and there's no extreme pushback against him? Even by Helwani. It's like Helwani's not even shocked. He's just like, oh, okay. Let's move to the next question. Thing is, Helwani wants to keep these interviews going. He doesn't want to stir controversy. But I want to keep it real. That's the difference. Oh my gosh, Michael Chandler. Oh my gosh. Charles Oliveira should be pissed off hearing this. You just beat a man over the course of 25 minutes, and you also knocked him out before. And he literally, with a straight face, is going to tell everybody watching the Ariel Helwani show, which has like over 200,000 subscribers, that I would beat this man 9 times out of 10. He just beat me twice. He just beat me for the vast majority, 4 rounds out of 5 in our last fight, and he finished the fight on my back. But I promise you, I beat him 9 times out of 10. Michael Chandler is mentally ill. I don't know. Like, there's something not right about Michael Chandler. That's just how it is. Like, it's just, there's something not right. You can't be okay up top saying these crazy ass things. I don't get it. I think it's insane. I think it's a disgrace. I really try and understand Michael Chandler as best as I can. And it just gets worse and worse and worse because he keeps saying this nonsense. Can we give Charles Oliveira some respect? I'm going to sit here and give Oliveira respect. Oliveira is a UFC champion, former champ, good champion, entertaining champion, 2 wins over Michael Chandler. Also, the 2 other fighters in the UFC who beat Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira also has beaten. This is the most nonsensical claim ever. This statement, I think, should delegitimize Michael Chandler's opinions on anything forthcoming. And trust me, he's going to be doing the self-help book things. He's going to be selling that stuff. I promise you, he's going to be selling things like that. I don't get it, man. It is what it is. This is combat sport, man. Some of the most delusional people in the world fight in the UFC. That's fair. But, like, I think Chandler has reached a different level of delusion. Like, Tony Ferguson, I don't even think says the same things here. I think Tony Ferguson is more coherent following a loss than Michael Chandler is. 9 times out of 10, you beat Charles Oliveira? Really? He's already beaten you twice, man. It's not possible, 9 out of 10. You should have said 9 out of 11, okay? Holy hell, I don't get it. The Oliveira disrespect really frustrates me. You can see I'm emotionally torn up about it. It's just constant. There's no respect for Oliveira from Michael Chandler. He was a liar in the lead up to the fight. He said with Helwani, he called Oliveira a quitter still. And then at the press, oh, we love Oliveira. I push back against that. You literally called him. Oh, but no, I didn't say it. I just agreed that he is a quitter. Ariel asked him, do you think he still is quitting him? He said, I'm not going to say it, but I do. Following UFC, I don't even remember the number, but following their first fight between the two of them, Michael Chandler also said that he didn't put him in those spots, but like he still believes it's there. He's not walking back anything that he said. He completely disrespects Charles Oliveira on a constant basis. And I think now it really all makes sense. He's extremely jealous of Charles Oliveira. He's jealous of the hardcore fan base that Oliveira has not speaking English. He's jealous of how Charles Oliveira has gone tooth and nail with the top guys in the world and grinded like a savage to become a UFC world champion, something that Michael Chandler will never do. He feels inadequate around Charles Oliveira, which is why consistently he disrespects and disregards Charles Oliveira. Even though we have empirical evidence, you can watch them fight each other twice and we know who's better. That's why he can't just sit here with a straight face and tell you, yes, he's got my number. Because he is completely jealous of Charles Oliveira as a fighter and as a man. Humility is Charles Oliveira. Humility, respect, and truly what being a savage is all about is Charles Oliveira, not Michael Chandler. Disgusting. Disgusting. Disgraceful. Distasteful. Now, there is a little bit of sense from Michael Chandler. A little later on in this interview, I almost called him Charles Oliveira because I'm thinking so much of Charlie O. He said something about betting on him, right? Lead-ups to fights, betting on him. How does that go?
You will maybe lose money on me if you bet on me, but you will feel something.
I'm sorry, man. If I made the audio go boom or something like that because I was laughing, my bad. At least he can admit that. Thank you, Michael Chandler. Finally, I can laugh during this video, man. I was angry for most of it. Oh my God, this was good. You know what? The only sense you can say, you'll lose money betting on me, man. You lose money. It's true. You're going to lose money betting on Michael Chandler against a lot of the best guys in the world. Holy shit, that was good. Now, what's next is he actually got asked a question about Conor McGregor's current predicament, which I am not going to expand on. I'm sure most of you guys know what's going on with Conor McGregor. I don't know. If you guys really want my reaction to that, you can let me know in the comments. But, you know, it's not something that I was too crazy about talking, about and about doing a video on. But, if you really want to see it, let me know in the comments. But let's just listen to this clip here.
You know, it's a tough position. It's a horrible position all around, obviously, for him and for everyone involved. And it's a tough spot. So I don't really have anything else to say about it, but I do think the best thing.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to say any sympathetic stuff after it. In a sense, though, he does sympathize with Conor. And I'm not saying that Conor 1,000% guilty, but liable for you know what, right? I can't sit here and sympathize with Conor, right? I'm not going to pick a side and say he's absolutely guilty or absolutely not, but I won't sympathize with him because he has made some egregious life choices as of recent. And regardless of the SA situation that's going on, he did cheat on his, baby mama and longtime girlfriend or fiance, Dee Delvin, with that woman. So, regardless of the outcome of the, final verdict of what's happening with the illegal stuff, he still, morally is not too sound. And I don't know. I just don't feel that sorry for Conor with all the crazy shit that's been going on with him in the past few years. I think that he's unhinged. I think he's lost his mind. And, I can't sympathize much with Conor McGregor. And this comes from an OG Conor McGregor fan. I saw his whole UFC career unfold. And I am a realist when it comes to Conor. He's not in a good space up here, and he's not doing good things out in the world either. So I'll say that. Now, he did, of course, signature Michael Chandler beg Conor McGregor, fight me, please. I'm dreaming of it. Please, Conor McGregor, get in the cage with me. Please. He begged for the Conor fight. Let's listen to it.
Why not fight me? Why not be training to fight me middle of next year, International Fight Week, before that, as soon as possible? I'm ready to get back into training camp right after January 1, and we can make that fight happen ASAP.
I think he's got to let it go. And I mean, I'm down for the fight if Conor was to come back. But with all this crap going on, you think Conor's making a quick turnaround? I don't know about that. Chandler's begging him to fight him. It's going to be good for your life. You're going to be reinvigorated as a man. Conor McGregor should buy Michael Chandler's upcoming self-help book that he's going to release. It actually could really help Conor McGregor change his life. He might be a future, customer of Michael Chandler Mentality, which is the book that he's coming out with in 2025. I'm just joking. I don't think that book actually exists, but the Michael Chandler Mentality, that seems like a book that he's going to release. Oh, man. All right. I'm having too much fun, man. All right. We got more clips, and, the next few clips are a lot more lighthearted, but I felt as though they were still kind of funny, and I feel like we have to bring this one in. It seemed really chill at first. He was talking about his son doing a workout with him and whatnot, but it like kind of got dark at the end if you saw Michael Chandler's expression at the end. Let's listen.
A little bit, so we didn't want to go too hard there, so we went upper body. Hap's doing his pull-ups and his push-ups, and he's going to be a strong young man, and he's going to train.
You hear that? You hear the voice? He's going to be a strong young man, and he's going to train, and he's going to train. He's going to train. He wants to turn Hap into a fighter. Now, I'm not saying that he's definitely going to force him down and be, like abusive or something like that, but the way he said he's going to train, the way he looked at the camera and said it with a deep voice, it was serious. Michael Chandler, I'm telling you, that household is strict, man. Hap Chandler, he might be raised like a savage, damn. I don't know. What's weird here is Michael Chandler was also asked about his injury because he was pretty busted up after the fight. And he said he doesn't believe in recovery. I don't know. I guess he doesn't believe in science because there is a method to madness with recovering. You can be active and recover, but let's just listen and then I'll rip it apart.
The old school idea of rest and ice and compression and elevate and recover and just sit there and do nothing is not my school of thought.
I think your school of thought is wrong. You still need rest, compression, ice, recovery. You can still be active, right? I'm not saying just lay around all day, but I think using both is actually what the new school of thought would be. That's just being careless, Michael Chandler, just going out and saying, fuck it, my injury doesn't matter. I'm going to go work out with my knee torn up. No, I think there's a lot of benefit to taking the precautionary steps of recovery as well as active recovery. And this comes from somebody that's very into fitness. So I don't know. I think he's wrong there. And Michael Chandler, we can disagree on that and be more civil. But, I think that's a bit of a reach. Now, to close it off, this next clip, Michael Chandler said something a little strange, right? Michael Chandler, interesting what he's going to say here. This is just interesting. That's the only way to put it.
Dark meat turkey, by the way. I like dark meat, not the white meat. I like the dark meat. And then number
I just thought it was funny, man. I like the dark man. I know I included the turkey part because I didn't want things to get too out of hand with that clip right there. But yeah, he likes that dark meat, man. That's funny, man. The main thing I can agree with Michael Chandler on is this right here.
one is pumpkin pie.
We can finally found some middle ground. Michael Chandler and I both like pumpkin pie. I had to finish out with something positive. You guys know overall I'm a positive guy. Michael Chandler, I like pumpkin pie too, but not that store-bought one. You got to make it at home with some good graham cracker crust. That was my reaction to Chandler's most recent interview with Ariel Helwani. I hope you guys have been enjoying these in-depth reaction videos. They're a lot of fun to record. I had a blast in this one, I won't lie to you. And my God, what a crazy ass world we're living in. Michael, the king of excuses, the king of cope. My God, Michael Chandler. Yeah, that was a rough watch, man. Let me know in the comments what you thought of this video, but also, what do you think of the insufferable Michael Chandler at this point? Because I really think he has reached a different level of delusion and cope and just downright insanity. I don't know where his head is at. He needs to talk to somebody. He needs somebody to stop enabling him. Chill him out. You want to be humble? Show some real humility, Michael Chandler. Say Charles Oliveira is better than me, and he's the man. He won't do it though. Smash that like button. If you guys are new, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. And if you really enjoy the content, W in the comments to boost the algorithm for your boy. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Probably a Michael Chandler episode part 4 incoming sometime towards the end of the year. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace out.